Welcome to my instant play-by-ear method for ukulele. This video demonstrates the exercises described more fully in the PDF booklet. It's hard to portray sounds in a written document, and still pictures of hands don't show how to make the motions. Every conventional system since the dawn of time presents a song, and your job is to master the chords. My system is revolutionary as it rewrites the music to fit your playing, so that when you play along you can't make a mistake. Our initial goal is just to sound good. The fingers make the sound on the strings. The palm stops the sound. The first exercise is to pick up a pen. Think of a ukulele pick as a pen. When you write, you don't move your whole hand. Your palm rests on the page and your fingers move the pen. Take your pen and rest your palm against the bridge, like this. Sweep the pen back and forth across the strings as though you were writing on them. If it were a crayon or brush, you'd use your whole hand. With a pen, your fingers make the moves. Now substitute a pick for the pen. We don't always have one handy, so it can be any sort of stiff material like a coin or a piece of cardboard or a wrapper. I actually never use a pick, preferring to finger strum with the back of my index finger, so the fingernail acts as the pick. We can easily sweep our finger back and forth without moving our palm. Sweep the pick across the strings lightly. This looks easy, but if you try it wrong-handed, you'll see it's just as difficult for a beginner as trying to write your name with your opposite hand. Now try an exercise with the palm. Strike a chord, then abruptly stop the sound by pressing your palm down at the bridge. When playing rhythm, the palm strikes as part of the motion. As soon as you strike the chord, you abruptly stop the sound by smacking the palm onto the strings near the bridge. Within a fast song, you'll do that all as one motion. That's a rhythm section. Sometimes less is more. A hit song might have only one chord. Playing one or two simple chords with rhythm is catchier than adding more complex chords. We can play two chords just by strumming the two strings closest to you or the two furthest from you. So I'm playing along just with the open strings using palm mute. You can go to YouTube and play along with tunes that only have one chord, like Aretha Franklin's Chain of Fools, Harry Nilsson's Coconut, Lenny Kravitz, or Bob Marley. The goal here is just to use palm mute to practice rhythm and not to have to worry about chords at this stage. The second exercise is to play two useful chords. The ukulele makes it easy to play a type of C with open strings, and G with either one finger or a bar chord. To play along with a two-chord song, we only need to lift one finger up and down, on and off. That's this finger position here for the G. Then when we lift it up for open strings, we're playing a type of C chord. When we press it back, we have a G chord. There are quite a few two-chord songs that can be played just by lifting that finger up and down. It looks easy, but we have to remember to use our palm, and the tricky part is to know when to make that change. Next, see if it's true we only need 3 chords to be a star. We start from the open C position and move the finger up to the first fret to get a type of F chord. Then slide it up 2 frets for our third chord, a G chord. So moving and lifting one finger gives us 3 chords, C, F, and G. The trick is knowing when to move them, and that's playing by ear. Being able to create the sound we hear in our mind. These are some of the many songs that use those 3 chords. You can play along with them on YouTube. Hound Dog, Can't Buy Me Love, Down on the Corner, Baby Love, and many others. Chords are known by their root note. For chord progressions, we use Roman numerals. So if it's in key of C, the root and scale degree number 1 will be C. Sliding our bar shape, either 1 or 3 fingers methods, up the fretboard gives us 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So the 3-chord pattern is called the 1st, 4th, and 5th. Now we learn the real secret to play by ear, and that is to say no. You want Stairway to Heaven in B flat? No. You can have any song you want, as long as I get to choose the style and the key. As Henry Ford used to say, you can have a Ford in any color you want, as long as it's black. We can now do any key, as long as it's C. Our next exercise is the 4-chord arrangement from the 40s and 50s. They added to our 1-4-5 set a minor chord at the 6th position to become 1-6-4-5. This made hits all through the 50s until the Beatles moved the same 4 chords around, and you've been hearing this 1-5-6-4 progression ever since. Check out the Axis of Awesome 4-chord song on YouTube. As an exercise, try and work out which chords these guys used for their 1-5-6-4 set. Last, we come to the 12-bar blues. I left it till last, as 12 items to remember sounds like a lot, especially if there are, for example, 4 strums on each of the chords, giving 4 times 12, 48 strums over the entire sequence. 48 would be a lot to memorize, but there are actually only 3 chords and 7 changes, and the pattern is repeated over and over. Many rock and roll songs follow this progression. That's how blues players jam together. Because they know what's coming next in the 12-bar sequence, they can mentally prepare and thus seem to magically be able to fit in. Now, if all blues songs followed the same precise pattern, they'd be boring. That is why counting the beats is a trap. We need to learn to anticipate when the chords will change rather than relying on counting. Watch a karaoke singer miss 1 bar at the beginning of a song and not realize why every single note they do will then be out of tune. If we lose count by even 1 bar, we're likely out for the whole song. So it is important to think of the pattern so we can stop or move ahead to catch up. Even if we only use a few keys, it would be a lot to memorize. But you've heard this 12-bar progression subliminally on radio, in lifts, and in supermarkets. You sort of know what chord comes next, even if you don't know its name. Summing up, if you've made it this far, we could say The Star is Born. Your own Elvis moment, where he's called up from the audience, reluctantly. He nods to the band, who don't even speak English, and off they go into a hit song. No sheet music, no rehearsal. Too good to be true? Plenty of school kids I knew back in the 60s could do this. Many had no lessons, not even music class, as they were kicked out of school. I used to fake it, playing frat parties and weddings. It is the same goal as 400 years ago, a plain and easy introduction to practical music. You shall easily know both what chords they be, and also what chord cometh next, without book. Compositions which at the first sight will seem very hard to be done, yet having the rules of the composition of them delivered unto you, they will seem very easy to be made.